Namaste. Thank you for joining us today. I wish we could be together in person, enjoying the sights and sounds of Delhi, and I'm looking forward to when we can do that again. In the meantime, I hope you're all taking care. We continue to look for ways to help India as we face the COVID-19 pandemic. So far, Google has provided more than 240 crore rupees to support COVID relief and NGOs on the ground. When the health emergency subsides, we remain committed to supporting a lasting recovery. India's digitization will be at the center of this effort. Before the pandemic, India was already undergoing a rapid digital transformation, and COVID has only sped up those trends. Last year, we launched a Google for India digitization fund with an investment of 75,000 crore rupees. Our goal was to help more Indians connect to the opportunities the internet creates and empower more businesses through technology. And just last month, Google Cloud embarked on a new 5G partnership with Jio to help people access a better, faster internet. Today, together with Thomas and the rest of our cloud team, we are proud to launch our cloud. This is our region in India. It'll help businesses of all sizes solve complex challenges while using reliable and secure cloud technology even closer to home. That includes companies such as HDFC Bank, who are using Google Cloud for scale and operational resilience, and ShareChat, which is harnessing Google Cloud to better serve their customers across 15 different Indian languages. We see so much opportunity ahead as the world reimagines how we live and work. I look forward to seeing his institution will use Bill beyond. Thank you.
Hello to everyone joining us from New Delhi and across India. It's an honor to be with you today. India is a vibrant country, and I'm very proud to have grown up there. I know the challenges with the pandemic over the past 18 months have been a true test of your resilience on all levels. I also know that India is one of the most dynamic and entrepreneurial countries in Asia Pacific. In our work with companies and government agencies and organizations across the country, we've seen education ministries embark on large-scale digital efforts to support teachers with the tools and resources for remote teaching. We've seen how technologies enable telehealth and faster vaccine distribution. We witnessed firsthand how COVID-19 has supercharged the shift in retail to e-commerce as people move their shopping online. And we've seen a sharp increase in online banking and digital payment adoption, rising to historic highs across the country. Google Cloud is firmly committed to supporting India's business and economic recovery. A central piece of this is providing cloud infrastructure and technologies to support the digitization of organizations of all sizes and at scale. With that, it's my honor to announce the opening of our Google Cloud region in Delhi NCR. This is our second region in India, and we're expanding our local infrastructure in response to customer demand. Open Cloud region back in 2017. Delhi NCR is also our 10th region in Asia Pacific and our 26th region globally. A second region in India brings significant benefits to our customers. First, it makes it easier and faster for Indian startups and digital natives, as well as traditional enterprises, to leverage Google Cloud's on-demand network that's faster, more reliable, and less expensive than one they could build themselves. Second, it provides additional disaster recovery options for our customers to fail over and have disaster recovery within the country. And third, it delivers more choices for customers to store their data locally, enabling them to meet emerging digital sovereignty requirements. This is especially important for those in regulated industries such as financial services and the public sector. We're making this investment in India because of our mission to accelerate organizations' ability to digitally transform their business with the best infrastructure, platform, industry solutions, and Google's expertise. The value we bring to you, our customers, is based on four important pillars. First, an open infrastructure cloud. Through a network of cloud regions around the world, including the 2 regions in India, we offer high-scale compute, storage, secured with a private, high-bandwidth, secure network. We offer security tools to protect your applications and your data, management tools to monitor and cost optimize your environment, as well as DevOps tools and API management to enable developers to deploy applications quickly and efficiently. We offer this in 4 configurations: in our public cloud regions, in a private cloud that can be deployed in your data center, the notion of multi-cloud, where our technology for computation can be deployed on top of other clouds, and our edge computing solutions that can be run for very low latency sensitive applications in a telecommunications network. On top of this open cloud, we built our data cloud, which provides a comprehensive set of technology to allow you to ingest data, either through streaming or batch, to manage databases, both relational and non-relational databases, to provide a high-scale, completely serverless, easy-to-manage data lake and data warehouse, so you can load data and either run calculations using MapReduce or Spark, or to get a very scalable, easy-to-use data warehouse that you can query data using SQL, to build a data science platform called Vertex that brings Google's AI ML practices, but makes it available to everybody who wants to build scalable data science applications. And finally, to deliver insights and data-driven applications using our Looker technology. Our data cloud allows you to access and analyze and derive insights from both structured and unstructured data in Google or in any other cloud. And when you move data to the cloud, you want to ensure it's trusted and secure. And Google offers three important elements to trust your data in our cloud. First, we offer a comprehensive set of security services to protect your data in our cloud. Our data protection solutions to secure your data when it's in storage, our confidential computing to protect your data when it's being processed, and tools like Cloud Armor that protect your applications and data in our cloud from network attacks. We also offer a comprehensive zero trust solution to allow you to secure your systems no matter if they're in our cloud or in any other cloud. We offer a Beyond Corp solution to provide you the leading zero trust capability. We offer you threat detection tools with our Chronicle technology and a variety of other solutions such as reCAPTCHA and virus and malware. Lastly, to ensure that you can trust your data in our cloud, we've also made our cloud region compliant with the MyIT certification for India. So our region in Mumbai is now certified, and we are shortly starting the process to have the new region in Delhi NCR to have that certified as well. One of the big changes we've seen with the way people work during the pandemic, and we expect beyond the pandemic, is this notion of hybrid work. The ability to bring people together, no matter where they are, at the office, or in some cases working remotely. We provide through Google Workspace a unified communication and collaboration platform. It allows people to communicate with one another in a single platform to do mail, messaging, audio and video meetings. So you can communicate with one another and collaborate around things. The second is you can also create things working together. You can write documents, you can create sheets and slides, you can share them through a secure drive, and you can publish them up on the web through our sites capability. We're bringing communication and collaboration to all users, no matter if they're using a laptop also improve the accuracy with which you can forecast demand. We're working with, for example, India Mart in India to help improve retail using our solutions for retail. In the healthcare industry, we provide solutions for telehealth and virtual care, connected mobile medical devices. We built a clinical data lake to allow doctors and researchers to identify insights from their data and to do biomedical data analytics. And we are very proud of our work with Dr. Reddy's in India. A third example is the work we're doing in financial services to help protect against fraud in financial services with solutions for anti-money laundering, KYC, to streamline the processing of business processes in financial services. For example, to automate using lending document AI, the way that loans are processed, and to improve regulatory reporting. So we offer a range of solutions from open infrastructure, a data cloud, a trusted cloud with a comprehensive set of security solutions, collaboration to bring people together, and specific solutions for industries based on our advances in artificial intelligence and machine learning. Our partners are critical in helping us deliver these industry solutions to our customers across India. We believe our success comes when our partners succeed. Our partner philosophy is built on the principles of openness, co-innovation, fairness, transparency, and shared success in the cloud market. Our global ecosystem of partners includes Wipro, HCL, Cognizant, Infosys, TCS, and many others, and has expanded by more than 5 times in the last 2 years. We look forward to continuing our close relationship with our partner community in India as we help customers modernize, innovate, scale, and grow. All of this work with our partners, coupled with our continued expansion around the world and leading product offerings, enable us to work with a vast and diverse set of companies from every industry. You see some highlights here from our priority verticals that represent not just enterprises, but also digital natives. We're helping them build for the future and deliver even more value to their customers. As we look at India, we support government organizations and businesses in every industry, from banking to manufacturing, communications, media and entertainment, and healthcare. We're committed to helping companies of all sizes succeed in their digital transformation efforts. We are proud of our partnership with customers including Reliance Jio, Ether Energy, Proposo, Daily Hunt, and many, many more. For example, we have helped HCL unlock new growth opportunities by building a secure, robust, and scalable platform for long-term growth. We've helped TVS advance their goal of creating a digital ecosystem that empowers thousands of entrepreneurs across automotive retailers and garages. We've helped Voot modernize its intelligent content discovery platform and serve personalized experience to audiences wherever they are. And we've helped InMobi's apps leverage our artificial intelligence-powered content platform to support more than 120 million daily active users just 20 months after launch. We want to thank each of our customers for choosing us as your transformation partner. I also want to take this opportunity to emphasize a commitment to cultivating local talent. The global economy shifted in the wake of the pandemic, and business leaders continue to tell us that the scarcity of skilled in-house talent is a major barrier to innovation. As cloud adoption grows, traditional IT roles are shifting to reflect a broader mandate that bridges technology and business strategy. We're committed to working closely with you, our customers, and communities in India to build a stronger digital future for all Indians. In closing, we believe that today's launch is the next step for Google Cloud and Alphabet in our continued commitment to India. We look forward to partnering with you and helping you take advantage of all the benefits that our cleanest cloud has to offer. I am proud to announce that our Delhi NCR region is now live. Congratulations, India, on the second cloud region. It's great to launch this new region. And it's now my pleasure to welcome TCS CEO Rajesh Gopinathan to join us during this launch event. Rajesh, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you. We are thrilled to share our progress together. Your team and us have a great collaboration, and welcome to this event.
Thank you, Thomas, and congratulations on the launch of this new region. I believe this access to such a world-class, global, scalable, secure digital infrastructure is going to be a key driver for supporting India's ongoing digital transformation journey. So very happy to be part of this occasion. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. To start with, cloud has been helping even during this difficult period of the pandemic. The cloud has been helping organizations accelerate their transformation digitally. We have our two organizations have done a lot of work together, both in India but also globally, serving clients. Do you want to share a little bit some of the insights you're seeing and some of the anecdotes you're seeing from the work with our joint clients?
Absolutely, Thomas. When you think back about the pandemic, I think the biggest takeaway for us has been that the sheer resilience and adaptability of our people and organizations was quite amazing. And that is something that has always stayed with me as the biggest insight. And there's no doubt that cloud was a key cornerstone and a pillar on which this resilience was built. And it has had multiple waves, if I may say so. The initial response was, of course, to enable digital collaboration. And TCS itself led the way with what we called our secure borderless workspaces to create a secure, monitorable, verifiable, enterprise grade remote working operating model. And we saw that adoption across multiple clients. But what has been even more encouraging is the nature of cloud adoption has rapidly moved beyond just digital collaboration and infrastructure hosted solutions. We are seeing a multi-horizon kind of an adoption cycle across our customers, with Horizon 2 being about leveraging native capabilities. And we are seeing a lot of traction in moving areas like data onto the cloud to leverage its native analytics capabilities. We are seeing security as being a key driver to cloud adoption. And we are also seeing increasingly interest in moving ERP workloads onto the cloud. And we feel that this is a start of a journey and across multiple horizons. I'm very excited about that possibilities ahead.
Thank you for the work your teams are doing with us. We are seeing similar things. We have seen huge growth in demand for our cloud technology, whether that's to migrate applications, help people run their ERP more efficiently, to use analytics and data in new ways to, for example, understand supply chain, understand how to deliver, remote care for patients, identify new ways to treat people. And then obviously our collaboration tools have seen a huge increase, more than 300 to 400% increase as people have shifted to their digital workforce. One of the things that both our organizations share is this view that just providing technology is not sufficient unless you train people and help people develop digital skills, both the users of the technology and the people who are implementing the technology. And you at TCS have a long history of focusing on digital skills enablement. Can you talk a little bit and share some insight on how you're doing that?
Thomas, you're absolutely spot on. The technology is only part of the solution. And what's most important is how the people adopt it and how people are skilled to be able to leverage it fully. And we believe that it starts at the very top in terms of clear direction and clear organizational commitment from the leadership to this change that is underway, so that people know that this is where the organization's future is headed. At TCS, we have done that. Cloud, we have declared that to be our single largest strategic agenda for the next few years going forward, and significantly moved the organization structure to reflect that kind of a commitment. As you're aware, we're very excited about the creation of the TCS Google Business Unit, and we have moved senior leadership and talent into this kind of a dedicated setup to be able to actually bring together the talent required to drive it. But even more than that, what we're doing is to enable talent skilling at scale by creating the learning infrastructure and the learning processes required for it. Areas like micro learning, experiential learning, setting up the Google Garage or a Google Sandbox to give hands-on training capabilities, and significantly investing in rapid competency development in partnership with Google. And I'm very enthused by the fact that I believe we are the fastest growing partner in Google certifications and enabling that kind of high level talent creation. The other aspect of it is that cloud does not exist in isolation inside an enterprise, and it's very important to ensure that we build this into the contextual knowledge of the enterprise. And that's another big area of focus for TCS, to ensure that the contextual knowledge that TCS enjoys of these enterprise customers, that is enhanced with the new technology knowledge, so that it's a continuum and not two different knowledge sets that we are seeing. That I also believe is critical at an enterprise level in the way people plan that talent journey. And I think the most important aspect of it is, I think this focus on learning and relearning is core to the philosophy and values of the company. And we ourselves promote it hugely inside the organization, obviously, but also in the communities we operate in, through a large focus on STEM education, through programs like what we call Go IT, Code Vita, etc. And one of the, I think, the pillars of our own relationship is these shared values, and what Google is also doing in areas like Code to Learn and your rolling study halls, and that commitment to learning as a key pillar for social development. So we are very enthusiastic by this, the ability to scale talent and to be on this continuous learning journey.
A couple of the points that you made resonate very much, with us. One is this commitment to education and help people grow their skills. One of the things we see with the cloud computing is technology and software increasingly is transforming every industry. And so that's something that we take to heart. And then the other part you mentioned is that you have to adapt contextually to the organization itself. And in order to adapt contextually to organization, because at the end of the day, the business has to derive value from the use of the technology. Now, we see a lot that there are significant differences in the way that industries are adopting this technology. In retail, we see, for example, people focused on their supply chain and e-commerce infrastructure. In manufacturing, people are using technology to do Industry 4.0, instrumenting their manufacturing shop floor, getting data from it, and using it in new ways. What's your perspective, Rajesh, on how industries are adopting these solutions? And we both have a focus around bringing joint solutions to customers. Love to hear what you're seeing and what your perspective is.
Thomas, you're so right. The extent of this leverage is so high, especially because it lends itself across multiple industries in their own unique ways. And going back to that three horizon framework that we spoke about, Horizon 2, which is about leveraging native capabilities, we will need to work together with industry to fully leverage a lot of the capability set that the cloud platforms are actually bringing to bear and making available. And the joint activity is going to be so crucial. I'm very encouraged by the ongoing joint collaboration that we have with Google and with Deutsche Bank to work together to see and reimagine what can be a future of a core banking solution when it is architected natively on a Google Cloud platform kind of an infrastructure. And working together with you to take our core IP in banks as a platform and to completely reimagine how this will be deployed on a cloud native architecture so that we convert core banking into a platform for business model innovation for our customers. And I think that's the power of what can be unleashed if we work together. And we're seeing this across industries, like you said. Retail obviously has been a big component of large customer data set migrations and being able to use the analytics capabilities to bring real time value to customer journeys and experiences. Industry 4.0, massive opportunity to really change even the sustainability agenda as we deploy IoT solutions, we deploy optimization solutions around it, the ability to move that agenda. All of these possibilities are immense, and we are very excited about taking even more products like our IP in areas like Optimera in retail or WaferWise in semiconductors, and deploying that onto this native architecture, jointly working to fully exploit the kind of capabilities that are being made possible.
Thank you, Rajesh. It's really good to hear about your industry approach. We share the same values. I think we also see the potential that making technology available through cloud to us is a way to enable partners, your solutions, to be brought to customers around the world. And particularly in the context of India, we are very optimistic that digital technology can help India leapfrog and accelerate their economic development, both in the public sector as well as in the commercial sector. So today is a very important moment for us because it's the opening of our second cloud region. We wanted to thank you for the work your teams are doing with us globally. And most importantly, thank you for your time today, for joining us on this auspicious day. We look forward to continuing our work with you, and best wishes to you and your team.
Thank you, Thomas. And once again, congratulations, and wishing the Google team the very best as you take this great milestone in significantly improving the digital infrastructure of the country. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I would now like to invite Christian Klein, CEO of SAP, to share how SAP and Google Cloud are partnering to help businesses recover from the pandemic and to advance India's economic growth and digital future.
Thank you, Thomas, and greetings from Waldorf. Many thanks for inviting me to speak on this special occasion. There is no doubt the pandemic accelerated digitalization efforts across all industries. Every customer I speak to sees the need to digitally transform their business. This can mean different things to different companies. It can mean making supply chains more resilient. It can also mean creating new customer experiences. It can mean enabling remote work. Whatever digital transformation means to a company, the cloud is the foundation. In the wake of the pandemic, many companies moved to hyperscalers to make their IT infrastructure more dynamic. And SAP's agnostic hyperscaler strategy offers our customers exactly the choice and flexibility they need. This includes not only our strong base of digital native customers, but also our mid-market and enterprise customers in India who are choosing to migrate their SAP workloads to the public cloud. So why am I so excited about this launch today? First, SAP workloads often represent some of a business's most mission-critical applications, and customers need maximum uptime and reliability. This became apparent in the last months. Our customers need a secure, low-risk environment in which their applications can run. And they need the highest levels of support in case of downtime or disruptions. With a second cloud region in India, Google Cloud will deliver maximum uptime and reliability to customers. This enables them to keep their businesses up and running also in volatile times. Second, data within SAP applications is a real treasure of information. With technologies like AI, machine learning, and analytics, they can turn this data into actionable insight. But companies in retail, manufacturing, banking, and others have specific business needs. Working with a cloud partner who understands their business and can help them address challenges and opportunities with technology and solutions is so crucial. Google Cloud's leading capabilities enable customers to enhance the value of their SAP systems and data. SAP customers such as Wipro, Rastomi, and GR Infra Projects Limited in India are embracing digital transformation at speed and scale. And they have accelerated their move to S/4HANA running on Google Cloud. And third, we all know that we must act on sustainability now. Because your customers, your partners, your colleagues, all your stakeholders care how serious you take this. So it's time to build sustainability into the fabric of how we do business. At SAP, we are proud to partner with a hyperscaler partner like Google Cloud that shares our commitment to increasing sustainability of our products and operations. Only together, we will be able to address some of the world's biggest sustainability challenges. Again, many thanks for having me today. I couldn't be more excited about our partnership. And we are looking forward to build on that, to reinvent how businesses, industries, and the world runs. I wish you a great event, stay safe, and all the best.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for this important occasion. It was heartening to hear Mr. Gopinathan and Mr. Klein speak on how they are supporting India's digitization. Our mission at Google is to make the internet helpful for 1 billion Indians and empower India to become a leading digital economy. Over the last 15 years of our presence in India, our efforts have focused on building a robust digital ecosystem that serves the need of all users and helping businesses, both large and small, This has meant bringing more people and businesses online, building innovative products, and working closely with like-minded partners across sectors to enable a wide variety of experiences that are helpful for these users. India's digital transformation journey and ecosystem is hugely inspiring for us. And we are investing in partnering deeply with Indian companies to shape our digital future that will benefit everyone. The launch of our second cloud region in Delhi NCR is yet another milestone in this journey. COVID-19 has accelerated the pace of adoption of digital tools and technologies, and businesses have had to adapt to the changing reality of our world. In the last 12 months, every discussion with industry leaders has focused on three pointed questions. First, how can we scale our market penetration with an omni-channel strategy? Second, how do we build user trust in our brand? What data security and privacy measures should we adopt? And third, how can we future-proof our organization with data-led innovation and become more agile at scale? There's a sense of urgency across verticals to leverage digital technologies and platforms to gain competitive advantage and drive top-line revenue growth. Today, we are working with organizations across a breadth of offerings to help them unlock their full potential through digital transformation. For example, in the auto sector, we are helping them digitize and train the entire dealer network. In BFSI, we are working with leading banking and financial services to reimagine their branches and customer engagement and drive adoption of insurance and other financial products. For FMCG, in addition to digitalization, we are helping them find solutions with AI research for water conservation. The scale and scope of our engagement with businesses today is drastically different from what it was 3 years ago. I'm sure that the upcoming panel, led by Bikram, will also point to that. But before I hand it over to him, I would like to say that I'm incredibly proud of the work our teams are doing to bring the best of Google to our customers. And we look forward to doing that at a wider scale into the future.
Thank you, Sanjay. We are keen to work with Indian businesses to help them accelerate their recovery. The pandemic is seriously disrupting lives, livelihoods, and organizations. Companies are navigating the crisis by building resilient and digitally enabled business models. Many customers and partners that I speak to are reinventing their strategies based on plans they drew up during the pandemic. Today, I'm joined by four esteemed gentlemen from the field of technology. Mohit Kapoor, Group CTO and Head of Technology, Mahindra Group. Ramesh Lakshmi Narayanan, CIO and Group Head of IT, HDFC Bank. Mohit Saxena, Co-founder and CTO, InMobi. And Piyush Singh, Senior Managing Director, India Market Unit Lead and Lead Growth and Strategic Client Relationships, Asia Pacific and LATAM, Accenture. Thank you everybody for generously making time for this discussion. But let me start with you, Mohit Saxena from InMobi. The pandemic is accelerating digital consumption for businesses and for consumers. How is this changing InMobi Group? And what are you focusing on as you build a future for the business?
I think this pandemic is something that no one ever seen anything in life, and nobody was prepared. But I think I saw this pandemic as a big opportunity because many companies like us, we were trying to be completely digital for last 4 or 5 years, and we made some good progress. But this event has forced us to basically see things and work in a completely different way. Remote working from home used to be a very big taboo, and we all believe that you can't build right product unless you hustle people into a room, you do brainstorming, you do that whiteboarding, and that led to a lot of lack of processes, and rather even not a good documentation, a lot of tribal information where people have to come together to make any effective progress. But what is surprising it that this pandemic has forced everyone to basically adopt to new ways of working in just matter of few weeks. You don't need people in a room. Everyone has to basically do a documentation or basically do their work, assuming that nobody is going to be there in that room with them while they're working. So in that sense, I think it has really transformed how we are working with our team together. There is a very increased level of collaboration, smoothing of all the process, top-notch documentation where you have to really not leave anything for guesswork for another person, so that they can quickly read it and start from there. So, and we are not alone. Every company I talk to and every company that we interface, I think this wave of digitalization has just, covered up last 10 years, what we all were trying to do. So there is something positive over here.
Great to hear that. Ramesh, moving on to yourself. When I look at HDFC Bank, one of the largest banks in this country, and how you've adapted to the scenario in light of the pandemic while helping both corporate customers and consumers navigate through the crisis. How are you rethinking your products, services, operating models to adapt to this whole disruption?
Yeah, I think from more pandemic, no pandemic, I think HDFC Bank is in slightly different trajectory because frankly, we are, I see this as a pan out for the banking industry. I'm not just talking from only HDFC Bank's perspective. And I've spoken about it multiple times. I think the way we are seeing for the pandemic has brought the digitization to the core. We all know the way the entire delivery model of the banks have changed. Clearly, the pandemic has just accelerated that. Be it just the explosion in the UPI payment systems, be it in the way the products are being kind of offered on the channels today. It's a very, very different world. If you go back, let's say 18 to 20 months. But I think coupled with that, I think the banks also should see this as an opportunity, because what I see is that this pandemic has just accelerated that push to the digitization, and that means getting on to the new set of technologies, new set of platforms, because frankly, banking world is coming off a legacy, edifice, so to say. And it's important to make that transition, at a rapid rate. I think had we gone in the normal course, maybe we would have been little circumspect of, let's say, should we just get onto the cloud? How fast should we get onto the cloud? I think those discussions are today, not in the forefront. I think it's more about now let's get on and let's get it done quickly. I think that's the fundamental transformation. The technology architecture itself, the adoption from the bank side has gone a huge change, and we are seeing that pan out. Whether it's the way the neo banking structure is coming through, the way analytics is coming at the center of all the banking delivery systems. It's a very different world that we are seeing. Like as I said, that the classical container-ready, cloud-native microservices world, and clearly I see this as they go forward. So banks should look at this as a great opportunity or a great, I would say, period for them to recast their technology. So in that sense, I like, just like Mohit said, for us it's been an opportunity rather than looking at like a crisis.
Mohit from Mahindra, let me come over to you. Mahindra Group is one of the largest conglomerates in this country, and you're running businesses across multiple industry. And I'm sure the pandemic has created challenges for each one of them. It would be great to get your perspective on how Mahindra is managing through this crisis and the transformation that's underway to position the business for the future.
Thanks, Vikram, for inviting me for the second region launch for GCP.
Thank you.
You're right. Mahindra Group is a diverse conglomerate across auto, farm, logistics, real estate, electric vehicles, finance. The only constant is customer expectations have changed. Whether we are changing fast enough or not is what my task is. I break it down to four simple things in my view. One is a focus on customer and employee journeys, and the digital last miles mainly. That while we were doing digital in the back end, it is the last mile which was paper or shop or dealer or shop front oriented or branch oriented. And because of the pandemic, that has forced us to think through lockdowns on reinventing the business model. So first focus area for us is to digitize the customer journeys and employee journeys equally, because employees also are sitting at home. Second is better use of data. That earlier we were not necessarily forced to use data. Now we are forced to use data because you're not meeting the customer that much, and hence you have to know, and you have to make decisions based on data, whether which color of the car to make, what to price it at, what are the competitors doing, where to sell it, how to do digital advertising, how to spend and what. So those decisions are now data oriented. Third is where the cloud comes in, is accelerating the stack and building open stack, because increasingly this journey is partnership oriented. It's not just our branch, not just our shop, not just our portal. You have to partner with many companies to build an ecosystem, and that comes only if you build open stack. So that's kind of the third focus. And fourth is, to me, cyber security and data privacy. For us, it's all about doing good business, and that is to protect the customer data and also to look at the customer interest. So those are the four pivots mainly of our digital transformation. And we are in this journey, and many of these changes are one directional. They're not going to go back to old ways, which means better efficiency, better experience for the customer, better productivity, innovation for the employees, and just keep doing it for a not long way, in my view. So that's the way I see it.
It's wonderful to hear all three of you. We're going through the heart of, or rather the core of transformation as a result of this pandemic, and see how positively all companies are taking this and using it as an opportunity to move forward. So Piyush, let me come over to you. Accenture has been partnering with enterprises across sectors to help them in digital reinvention of their business models. What are some of the key learnings that you believe Indian businesses will continue to carry forward as they chart this recovery and growth journey ahead?
Hey, Vikram, thanks. And again, all the very best with your launch. Happy to be here. Look, I agree. As the other panelists have said, I mean, the two things that emerge out of the current crisis. One is that the predictability of customer behavior has gone through even greater rapid change, right? I mean, or the unpredictability, I should say. And the second part is that a deep need for empathy, because let's face it, all customers are in some kind of crisis, of a social or a health nature. So, which means that business models have to become more empathetic. While, as Mohit Kapoor was saying, not being physically present. So how do you transform yourself? And that's a big change. And that's where what I call is the capital paradox, right? Because on one hand, your businesses are disrupted. So a typical business model says, well, put your hatchets down, conserve your capital, ride out the crisis. On the other hand, as we said, because of the need for greater empathy, the need for better understanding, you must invest to reinvent, right? So one of the big learnings that the organizations that will come out successfully out of this will be how to manage that paradox successfully, which comes out of the fact that, how do you lay out a long-term strategy that your stakeholders can understand as to why you are unleashing a level of capital investment when old wisdom would have said, hunker down and put your hatchet down. So I think that's one of the big things, in terms of actions. I think other panelists have laid out very well. The only way out of this, or to go through this transformation will be to turn digitally native in terms of your business model first, and then obviously to enable that through a technology, architecture which is digitally native as well, right? And of course, in that journey, the underlying capability that a cloud-driven infrastructure provides is obviously well known. So from that perspective, the investments that you guys are making will surely enable that journey for our organizations.
Mohit Kapoor, you have been leading digital transformation agendas and are choosing to build this with cloud at the core. You spoke about this, where you spoke about the open stack, you spoke about data, cyber security, and a number of things that you're focused on. when you're building a digital first business model by co-innovating and co-building with partners like Google Cloud. We'd love to hear a little more about that.
Sure. So while we work with all the hyperscalers, and we work with Google in more than one ways, Android Auto, and you can think for auto company, Google has many maps, many use cases. But I'll pick a few which are directly working on with GCP and are close to my heart as well. So one is around agronomy and tractor telemetry, where the simple mission is making the farmer more productive and the yield from their lands better, right? And this is done by giving the ability for trackability of the tractor, and the app equally uses AI and machine learning to help the farmer farm better. You can take a photo of a crop and the AI will tell you what potential crop disease is happening, and hence what organic and inorganic fertilizer, chemical can help, what pesticide to spray, etc. So we built that stack, and it's helping farmers becoming more productive. So that's close to my heart for the rural ecosystem. It's working very well. It comes as a part of the tractor. You may be aware, we are a leading tractor manufacturers, by units over the world, and probably the biggest in India. And hence all tractors have this facility available, and we call it farming as a service. So it's not just you guys who are doing PaaS and IaaS and SaaS. We do it as well. We're calling it FaaS, where farming as a service. So that's one. Second is financial inclusion in our Mahindra Finance business. That's a large listed business where the field lab is run on GCP, and it's a fully functional field lab, which are 10,000 field staff we have, covering almost all villages in India and all postal codes across over 1,000 branches. The field lab is a fully functional app where you can give a loan, reset a loan term, collect cash, and which I call assisted digital or phygital, where the farmer can do a UPI payment from their own app, or the field staff can be standing there and do it. And the best part of the app is that even if there is no signal, it still works. So it has edge intelligence, where the moment you are on 2G, then you go to 3G, then you go to 4G as you drive your motorcycle, and all the data you did in the field automatically syncs up. So these two, to me, amongst many things, these two things come to my mind because these are transformational in many ways, and they're changing the rural economy and our ability to help people live better, which is the sole purpose of doing better business and doing good business.
Thank you. That is very, very interesting and motivating. Let me come to you, Mohit Saxena. What role is Google Cloud playing in InMobi's development and scaling of new products to support the changed consumer behavior and the demands that you're seeing through the pandemic?
So I think, one thing that I would mention prior to getting into that is this pandemic has also changed the consumer behavior drastically, especially, the new age digital crowd. I mean, with this lockdown and being at home, it also opens up a huge amount of time that people spend on these phones. And the way you have to see the consumer behavior and the way you have to service it, the way we do it in Glance and Proposo, where, we show content that are relevant to that user, you can't bucket them into cohort anymore. Everyone is individual.
Yeah.
And in a consumer business, right now, you live in a world where information is everything, and it needs to be on time, and it needs to be very customized according to what I like and what I don't like. So when you combine all these three things together, performance, latency, and absolute precise relevance, I think, I won't be kidding if I say one company that has done it over the time or its best is obviously Google. So it's not about, having the GCP or rather infrastructure to take care of performance, latency, and helping us building next stage AI system, that can, create a social graph or user graph for every user. It is also learning from the experience, because AI and ML is a science that has been, is the knowledge that has been generated over last 15 to 20 years. And some of the brightest minds have worked in companies like Google. And we want to learn as fast as possible, because, I think I'm a very firm believer that, one can save huge amount of time, with, if we can just avoid reinventing the wheel. So I think we work very closely with Google team. We try to learn as much as possible where they have spent 10, 15 years, going through the hard process of iterating, experimenting, and succeeding. So the way I see this relationship is, one is a physical attribute that we receive, it's like performance, scale, reliability, and all that component. And then there is a logical know-how, which to me is very important, because we want to be there for every user whenever they want us, and we want to be as precise as possible, so that the content always remain interesting. And, the last but not least, India is a very big country. We have a lot of vernacular, different languages, different contexts, and social fabric. And we want to be very inclusive in that format as well.
Thank you. Ramesh, coming over to you. As you're accelerating this technology-led transformation, this journey that you've undertaken, what are some of the areas that you are prioritizing? And how is Google Cloud helping you with these initiatives?
Well, like as I said, for us, it's a matter of what I would say making that pivotal change, right? Because banks have been very, very reluctant to go on cloud, and frankly, like as I said, it's become more of a necessity now. I would look at the partnership with GCP in two buckets. One, obviously, from the technology perspective, in terms of if you see the way the digital explosion has happened. I think one of the biggest, just look at the UPI ecosystem, and I keep coming back to that. It's almost a 250-300% increase over the last 18 months, and that's like a huge. And why is it huge? Because ultimately the right comes to the bank. While the whole ecosystem takes the feeds, but finally the rights come to the bank. And the banks have been doing the rights in a traditional RDBMS linear way on their core banking. So fundamentally, this is a dichotomy that cannot kind of scale up if the same situation goes, right. So clearly, we are looking at GCP, for example, on very interesting partnerships in terms of how do we look at, of course, just from a core technology scale up on cloud, but also looking at what I would call as event-based technology movements, where you're literally kind of bringing in the ability to orchestrate transactions on an event basis, because UPI is here to stay. You will fundamentally get lesser and lesser transaction amounts, but the higher volumes will come through, and with NUE coming in, other payment ecosystems coming in. So it's absolutely clear that both from a horizontal scaling and from a way that you govern the transactions, the thought process have to change, and that's where we are partnering with GCP in some of these very interesting ways. So take a simple example: if you were to take a customer journey on a 10-second end-to-end basis on a UPI, not just UPI, on any payment ecosystem, where are the levers? Yeah, of course, the network, the cloud compute, and then the core right. Three critical parts. And there is very limited scope to play around. And that's where I think the engineering would come into picture in terms of saying, how do we really kind of finish this transaction? And when you load this ecosystem with millions of the transaction, and then doing that kind of an orchestration is clearly an area that we are looking. And that Vikram, we've been working with you in terms of in that direction. The other part, obviously, like as I said, as banks themselves, like I said, would eventually move their cloud into their core banking into a microservices-driven cloud architecture. I think time has come. Just doing API, apification from the front end doesn't help. I think those days are gone, frankly, and that's where I see the core banking itself as a kind of myriad of microservices that's going to come through across different core systems. And all of this, has to nicely kind of get onto the cloud infrastructure. Of course, that's where I think the transition from a classical on-prem to a hybrid cloud, and then eventually to a full cloud, would be a kind of a journey. But clearly, we're partnering with GCP in very, very closely in those areas, and we also see a lot of focus around changing the customer experience. The third piece that I wanted to bring is the banks have been largely not fighting the front end battle, and it's a battle that the GPAs and the Paytms have been doing. I think for banks also, it's important to kind of look at the front end experience, and that's another area that we believe developing, and that's where some of the Google technologies, and it's not just the GCP parts, and the Google technologies come to the forefront from the front-end perspective. And again, you know that some of it we are clearly adopting, working, co-partnering with GCP to kind of change our front-end experience also. Largely, these are three buckets I would like to summarize: the payment ecosystem, scalability, the core banking, push into the cloud, and then the front-end re-engineering. And all of these three areas form the core of the partnership, the way we see this.
Thank you, Ramesh. It's amazing how clearly you're thinking about what is a very, very complex and a number of decades old architectures and technology stacks. So it amazes me how clearly you're thinking about this. Thank you. Piyush, coming to you. How are you seeing these Indian businesses progressing ahead on cloud adoption? What are the long-term benefits or value that you think companies can unlock with the cloud?
The challenges that come along with the digital footprint that the customer leaves behind has been shifting with availability of and evolution of technology. Earlier, the big challenge was, can I find enough digital footprint of a customer? Well, that went away because people started being digitally native. Then the second thing came along, which was about, can I even assemble all of that data together, right? And then the third was, if I assemble that data, can I quickly respond quickly enough or into use of that data? In my view, these two big elements of that of that need have been massively accelerated with adoption of cloud. Right? The ability to assemble data, to be able to launch on top of it, useful insights. Now the battle has shifted to, can you consume it? Because as I'm sure the panelists and you would agree, today with those organizations that are rapidly adopting cloud native architecture, they can assemble data together, they can build insights on it. The big question is, can the business consume that insight in time and offer that to the end customer? What cloud is enabling, you all, the hyperscalers, you are obviously one of the leaders in it, are enabling in the market today is the elimination of the key roadblock into, as Mohit Saxena said, hyper-personalization of offering to customers, as well as the speed of response to the market. Right now, the battle has to shift towards, can the business consume it? Can it offer it in time to the end customer for that to turn into a value for the end customer?
True, very true. My final question to all four of you. What is the one new possibility for your business that you're excited about, along with the launch of the second Google Cloud region in India? Let me start with Ramesh, yourself.
This has been a ask actually, Vikram, because I do see active architectures as the core. I mean, you can keep saying that, but the zone architectures are good. But truly active architectures are the need of the hour. And I think the Delhi zone clearly gives us that flexibility. And like as I mentioned, it's a very core to the way we would look at an active structure. So that's the most exciting part for my mind.
Great. Mohit Saxena, if I could come to you next.
Yeah, so on top of that, I think India is a huge country, and especially North is a very populous area. So being a center over there, definitely certainly help us in latency and providing the right performance to a huge group of users that we have from that region.
Sure. Mohit Kapoor, what about yourself?
So I would say outstanding customer experience and a resilient supply chain, because supply chain resiliency is very important for us. We've seen the disruptions in the last 24 months. And we have to prepare for it. And better use of AI, I would think.
Piyush, what about yourself?
One of the key challenges with any evolving technology in cloud, I still put in the evolving bucket, is availability of capability, right? With a new hub, a new region, you will be able to deploy more capability in India in this regard, and that will be a massive help for adoption, and also greater confidence in the businesses to go ahead and adopt, because people are still looking for deep depth of architectural and other capabilities in the area of cloud. You are putting a big impetus by showing that investment.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. I can't thank you enough for your partnership. I'm sure our audiences will find your experiences and insights useful. to help their own business and digital-led transformation journeys.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me hand it over from here to Mitesh Agarwal, who heads customer engineering for us and will take us through more details about the new Google Cloud region in Delhi NCR. Thank you, everybody, once again.
Thank you, Bikram, and Namaste, India. What an exciting day it has been with Sundar, Thomas, Bikram, and our esteemed customers who've been part of this historic launch and have reposed their trust in Google Cloud. My name is Mitesh, and I lead all of Google Cloud's customer engineering and technology functions for India and South Asia. I'm here today to introduce some of the differentiators and use cases for our exciting new launch of the second Google Cloud region in Delhi and the Northern Capital Region. This is a step in the direction to fulfill Google's mission to make the internet helpful for 1 billion Indians